The company that coins the word tractor no longer exists. The brand that once claims to sell 90% of every diesel tractor in America is erased from the industry within a single generation. The machine that carries it to its highest peak, the Oliver 88, a smooth-running six-cylinder diesel in a green and yellow body that looks as good as anything parked in a farmer's driveway, defines the best years the company will ever know. By 1976, the last tractor to carry the Oliver name rolls off the line at the same Iowa factory. Not because the engineering fails, because a truck company from Cleveland writes a check and the people who take over do not understand what they have. That is the story of the Oliver 88. The tractor that saved the company and the one they should never have stopped making. But the problem the 88 solves is older than the company itself. For most of recorded history, the fundamental constraint of agriculture is power. A human being with a hoe, an ox with a wooden plow, a horse with an iron blade. By the late 19th century, an American farmer's productive capacity is still throttled by what a team of horses can drag across a field in a day. A good team pulls a single bottom plow through heavy soil at 2 miles per hour. The farmer walks behind, hands on the handles, sun on his neck, turning one furrow at a time. At the end of the day, he has plowed perhaps 2 acres. His father plowed 2 acres. His grandfather plowed 2 acres. The arithmetic has not changed in 1,000 years. Steam traction engines exist, but they weigh tens of thousands of pounds. They require a crew to operate. They cost more than most farms are worth. The farmer needs portable, affordable mechanical power. He needs a machine that goes where the horse goes, but does the work of 20 horses. The world does not have one. Every farmer in every field on every continent is waiting for the same thing, and no one has built it yet. In 1872, in Charles City, Iowa, a boy named Charles Walter Hart is born. 24 years later, he and a classmate named Charles Henry Parr graduate with honors in mechanical engineering from the University of Wisconsin in Madison. They have built 5 working internal combustion engines as their thesis project. They borrow $3,000, buy a half-acre lot on Murray Street in Madison, and erect a 31 by 56-foot 2-story building. Their first year of operation, 1897, the business loses $353.89. The second year, another $491 vanishes. In 1899, the first profit arrives, $454.33. They are not getting rich, they are getting started. In 1900, Hart and Parr relocate to Charles City, Hart's hometown. Hart's father knows the local businessman. A local attorney named Charles D. Ellis invests $50,000 in additional capital. The Hart-Parr Company is formally organized on June 12, 1901. Ground is broken for a new factory on July 5th. By December, all production has transferred to Charles City. Over the winter of 1901 to 1902, they produced their first gas traction engine. It is crude, enormous, and it works. By 1903, the factory is building 15 tractors a year. The number 3 alone weighs 14,000 pounds. By 1907, 1/3 of all tractors in the world are manufactured in Charles City, Iowa. Their sales manager, W.H. Williams, decides the phrase gasoline traction engine is too long for advertisements. He shortens it to one word: tractor. The word enters the English language from a small factory in northern Iowa. 300 miles southeast in South Bend, Indiana, a different story is running on a parallel track. James Oliver, born August 28, 1823, in Liddesdale, Scotland, emigrates to Indiana at age 12. He learns the molder's trade in iron foundries. In 1855, he invests $88.96 to purchase a quarter interest in the South Bend foundry. 2 years later, on June 30, 1857, he receives his first patent for a chilled plow, a casting process that hardens the cutting surface and eliminates the soft spots that cause breakage. By 1871, the company sells 1,500 plows a year. By 1874, 17,000. By the turn of the century, Oliver Chilled Plow Works produces 300,000 plows a year. The slogan is simple: plow makers for the world. James Oliver dies on March 2, 1908. His son Joseph takes over. By 1929, 4 companies have each outgrown their ability to survive alone. Their machines are dated. Their markets are saturated. On April 1, 1929, they merge: Oliver Chilled Plow Works, Hart-Parr Tractor Company, American Seeding Machine Company, and Nichols and Shepard Company. The new entity is the Oliver Farm Equipment Company, headquartered in Chicago. It is a full-line manufacturer from day one: plows, tractors, seeders, threshers. Everything a farmer needs, under one name. But the man who carries the central idea is already inside the building. Oscar Egan is hired by Hart-Parr on January 1, 1928, at $350 per month. By 1930, he is chief engineer of the tractor division. Egan is a student of the automobile industry. He looks at the tractors his competitors are selling, with their exposed engines, their rough-running 2-cylinder and 4-cylinder power plants, their bare-bones construction, and he sees the gap. The farmer drives to town in a smooth-running 6-cylinder automobile with enclosed bodywork and electric lights. Then he walks into his field and climbs onto a machine that looks and sounds like it was built in the previous century. Egan's conviction is specific. A farmer will buy a smooth-running 6 when everyone else offers him a shaking 2 or a rough-running 4. The gap between what a farmer drives to town and what he drives in the field is not a fact of life. It is an engineering failure, and it is an opportunity for anyone willing to close it. In 1935, Egan closes it. The Oliver Hart-Parr Row Crop 70 is introduced with a 6-cylinder Continental engine, 201 cubic inches, in a class of tractor where 6-cylinder engines are almost unheard of. Egan encloses the engine compartment in automotive-style sheet metal with a V-shaped grille and vertically louvered side panels. The tractor has an electric starter and electric lights. 6 forward speeds. A high-compression gasoline engine that runs on 70-octane fuel, giving the model its number. The 70 is the first row crop tractor that looks like it belongs in the same century as the family car. Oliver's own announcement reads like a dare: out of tomorrow. In 1937, the styling is refined. The Hart-Parr name disappears from the radiator. The cast-iron radiator shell is replaced with stamped steel. Oliver runs a national color voting contest at state and county fairs, letting farmers choose the paint scheme. 6 specially painted Oliver Row Crop 70 tractors surround the voting table. Farmers cast their ballots and receive commemorative leather key cases. The winner: chrome green body, red trim. The Oliver identity is born. Competitors notice. By 1939, International Harvester and John Deere are restyling their own lines, copying what Egan built on a shoestring budget in Charles City. The idea is right, but Oliver is still a mid-tier producer fighting giants. The lineup expands. The Oliver 80 in 1937, a 3-plow tractor with a 4-cylinder engine. The Oliver 60 in 1940, the small utility model. Oliver experiments with a diesel engine in the 80 using a Buda Lenova power plant as early as 1940. The diesel seed is planted. It does not yet flower. Then the war comes. Under War Production Board quotas, The large manufacturers, Deere and International Harvester, are diverted to heavy military production. Smaller companies like Oliver receive higher production quotas for farm machinery because they are not heavily committed to war goods. Farmers who cannot get a Farmall or a John Deere switch brands. Oliver gains customers it has never had, but the core limitation remains visible. The tractor line is a decade old. The 70 is innovative but aging. The 80 is unstyled, its engine compartment exposed to the elements. Oliver needs a new fleet. In 1944, 6 experimental prototypes designated Model XK are built at the Charles City plant. That same year, a young mechanical engineer from Blue Mound, Kansas arrives at the factory. His name is T. Herbert Morrell. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Kansas, class of 1941. He has spent the war years as an ammunition engineer at Remington Arms in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He joins Oliver as a design engineer. Within 6 years, he will be assistant chief engineer. Within 7, chief engineer. He will spend the next 26 years at Oliver, and his hands will shape the machine that saves the company. But saving is not guaranteed. The 1930s nearly destroy Oliver before the 88 is even conceived. Tractor sales collapse across the industry during the Depression. Oliver survives in part because of an enormous order from the Soviet Union placed through the Amtorg Trading Corporation in New York. 5,000 Oliver tractors, plus plows, cultivators, and combines. The bankers take a chance on the credit. The order keeps the Charles City plant running when nothing else will. The company president, Cal Sivright, personally escorts the Russian delegation through the factory. A crankcase on the demonstration tractor cracks the night before the showing. The crew works through the night, replaces it, runs the engine on the dynamometer, and has the tractor polished and ready by dawn. The Russians sign before the day is over. The Depression is one test. The merger itself is another. All 4 companies that form Oliver in 1929 are approaching obsolescence. The merger is a survival move, not a triumph. Hart-Parr has already lost its founders. Charles Hart is forced out as general manager in May of 1917 after financial troubles during the wartime retooling. He leaves the company entirely by December 1919, moves to Montana, and starts an oil refinery. He dies on March 14, 1937, in Missoula. Charles Parr stays at Oliver as head of the engineering department until his death on June 10, 1941, in Charles City. The men who coined the word tractor are gone before the machine that will save their company is born. The competitive landscape through the 1940s and 50s is brutal. International Harvester controls more than 30% of the American tractor market by the mid-50s. John Deere is growing aggressively. Ford's 8N, introduced in 1948, is mass-produced and expensive. Oliver is a full-line manufacturer, but it is not a dominant one. The Charles City plant, begun July 5, 1901, grows steadily. By the 1950s, it covers 65.9 acres, but acreage is not market share. Oliver needs a product that will set it apart from companies 5 and 10 times its size. In late 1945 and early 1946, Oliver builds a pilot run of approximately 388 tractors and sends them into fields across the Midwest for testing. The engine is a Waukesha 190 series, 231 cubic inches, 6 cylinders. The styling still matches the old Streamline 60 and 70. The pilot run is a market test. The answer comes back. The farmers want it. In 1947, production begins. Serial number 120001 rolls off the line at Charles City. In 1948, Oliver introduces what it calls a new fleet of quality tractors. The 88 is restyled with new Fleetline sheet metal, a fully enclosed engine compartment, a distinctive grille, fenders that sweep the full length of the body. Beside it stand the 66, a 4-cylinder model, and the 77, a smaller 6. All three wear the same Fleetline styling. All three run on gasoline or kerosene. They look like they belong together, a fleet. The 88 is the flagship. Its Waukesha Oliver 6-cylinder engine displaces 231 cubic inches, 3.8 liters. In Nebraska, tractor test number 388, conducted in October 1947, the gasoline version produces 38.47 horsepower at the drawbar and 43.53 horsepower on the belt. The 6-speed transmission offers 2 reverse gears. Operating weight is approximately 5,000 pounds. An independent rear PTO runs at 540 revolutions per minute. The fuel tank holds 22 gallons. The tractor is available as a row crop, a standard, an industrial, an orchard model, and a high crop. It will pull a 3-bottom plow all day without complaint. Then Oliver makes the move that defines the machine. By 1950, the 88 is available with a true diesel 6-cylinder engine, a direct start diesel in a mainstream row crop tractor. Not the farm-all system, which starts on gasoline and switches to diesel. A true diesel. Compression ratio 15:1. Fuel system, injection pump. John Deere has not entered the diesel row crop market. Ford has not entered it. Alice Chalmers sells too few to count. Oliver's own advertising claims it sells approximately 90% of the diesel-powered tractors in its class during this period. The claim is unverified by independent sources, but the competitive landscape confirms the core truth. No other major manufacturer is offering what Oliver is offering. The smooth-running Diesel 6 enclosed in Fleetline green is the farmer's new standard. The market responds. From 1948 to 1952, Oliver reaches its peak of tractor production, approximately 20,000 tractors annually. The Fleetline series is the reason. The 88 is the flagship. Farmers who switch to the diesel never switch back. The fuel is cheaper. The torque is stronger. The engine lasts longer. And the sound is different. The gasoline tractor clatters. The Oliver diesel hums. In 1954, the Super 88 arrives. The engine displacement grows to 265 cubic inches, 4.3 liters. Gasoline horsepower rises to 62. The diesel version delivers nearly 50 drawbar horsepower in Nebraska tests 525 and 527. The Super 88 is rated for a 6-bottom plow, double the original 88's 3-bottom rating. The price is approximately $4,000 in 1958. In 7 years, the machine that started as a 3-plow tractor is pulling 6. The cultural shift is the one that matters most. Oliver makes diesel power respectable on the family farm a full decade before it becomes industry standard. International Harvester's Farm-All M dominates the market, but it is a gasoline machine. John Deere's 2-cylinder engines are iconic but rough. Oliver's smooth-running 6, enclosed in Fleetline sheet metal, is the farmer's automobile. The gap between what the farmer drives to town and what he drives in the field has finally closed. 20,000 tractors a year. The idea that Oscar Egan carried into the factory in 1928, that a farmer will pay for a smooth-running 6 when everyone else offers him a 2 or a 4, is no longer a theory. It is a production figure. On November 1, 1960, White Motor Corporation of Cleveland, Ohio, purchases Oliver Corporation as a wholly owned subsidiary. White is a truck company. It knows trucks. It does not know tractors. For a few years, the Oliver name survives. White acquires Cockshut Farm Equipment in 1962, Minneapolis Moline in 1963. all three brands continue under their own names and colors. Oliver engineers in Charles City keep building tractors. The 880 succeeds the Super 88. The 1800 and 1900 series push into higher horsepower ranges. T. Herbert Morrell, now Senior Chief Engineer, oversees the development. Then the consolidation begins. In 1969, Oliver, Cockshut, and Minneapolis Moline are merged into White Farm Equipment. The Oliver headquarters in Chicago is closed. Operations moved to the Minneapolis Moline facility in Hopkins, Minnesota. A power struggle between Oliver and Minneapolis Moline engineers plagues the organization for years. The men who built the Fleetline tractors and the men who built the Minneapolis Moline Unitractor are now sharing one plant, one budget, and one set of bosses who made trucks for a living. The engineering culture that produced the 88 is diluted, outvoted, and eventually overruled. In 1974, the first tractor bearing only the Whitefield Boss brand appears. In 1975, the green of Oliver, the red of Cockshut, and the yellow of Minneapolis Moline are replaced by silver paint. On February 13, 1976, the last Oliver-branded tractor rolls off the assembly line at Charles City. It is a Model 2255, powered by a Caterpillar V8 diesel, serial number 266782705. A brand that coined the word tractor in 1906, that pioneered diesel in the row crop class that produced 20,000 tractors a year at its peak, is finished. The Charles City plant continues under the White name. The last tractor assembled there is a White Model 100, serial number 401505, on March 29, 1988. In the 1990s, the plant is auctioned. A salvage company from Waterloo, Iowa, buys much of the steel. Some of it is hauled to John Deere's Waterloo foundry and melted down for Deere tractor production. The heritage of Hart-Parr, of Egan and Morrell, becomes raw material inside a competitor's machine. White Farm Equipment passes through further corporate hands and eventually falls into Agikio Corporation, founded in 1990, headquartered in Duluth, Georgia. AGCO is a global agricultural machinery company with revenue of approximately $10 billion in 2025 and roughly 28,000 employees worldwide. Its brands include Fendt, Massey Ferguson, and Valtra. Oliver's patents are owned by AGCO. The Oliver name appears on none of its machines. Yet the Oliver 88 endures in ways no corporate restructuring can erase. Collector groups thrive across the Midwest. Oliver Heritage magazine has published continuously since 2004. The Floyd County Museum in Charles City preserves the production records from the plant. Restored Fleetline 88s, green bodies gleaming, yellow grills catching the light, appear at every major tractor show from Iowa to Indiana. Farmers who grew up on Oliver diesels, men in their 70s and 80s now, still describe the Waukesha 6 as the smoothest engine they ever heard in a field. They do not talk about the corporate history. They do not talk about White or AGCO. They talk about the sound. They talk about the pull. They talk about the machine. The broader legacy is the one that hides in plain sight. Today, virtually every row crop tractor on Earth uses a multi-cylinder diesel engine, enclosed styling, and an independent PTO. These are the features Oliver championed in the Fleetline era. The industry standard of 2026 is the Oliver 88's blueprint, built by every manufacturer that survived, credited to none of them. The idea was not complicated. A farmer deserved the same engineering refinement in his field machine that he found in his automobile. A smooth-running 6-cylinder diesel enclosed in clean sheet metal with controls that worked and power that lasted. Oscar Egan saw it in 1930. T. Herbert Morrell built it in 1947. 20,000 farmers a year confirmed it by 1950. The idea did not require genius. It required someone unwilling to accept that a tractor had to be uglier, rougher, and cruder than the car parked beside it. For millennia, the farmer's power was the animal, a team of horses, an ox, a mule. Two men from the University of Wisconsin looked at that problem, built a machine in a 2-story building on a half-acre lot, and gave it a name the world had never heard. Their successors in that same factory town, on that same Iowa ground, gave the farmer a smooth 6-cylinder diesel in a green and yellow machine that looked as good as anything in his driveway. The company that made it is gone. The machine that proved it right is still running. Oliver gave the American farmer the tractor he deserved, and the American corporation took it away.